Hello everyone, it's Anita, and in today's video I'm going to show you my bookshelf. This is a bookshelf tour. Sorry if the lighting is weird. I'm standing on my bed right now. So I only have those two bookshelves and a mini bookshelf I'm going to show you in the end. I obviously have more books than that. I have one of those IKEA beds with drawers underneath, so I have all my uni books there. I have a lot of books from high school there. I have also one full drawer of books I just don't really need. I want to exchange, like on a book exchange site, or I don't know. So I divided my books by language they're in. It doesn't mean that the original version is in that language, but just that the books are in that language. Okay. So I divided it in English books. And this goes on until here. Then we've got German books, or like I said, books in German up until here, and French books. This last one is a bit random just to stop the books from, falling down. And I keep the classics on the top shelf, but also some other books that I don't know if they're considered classics or not, but yeah. And I try to organize them by the publisher so that they all go together. I got this idea from Emma Angeline here on YouTube. She makes amazing book related videos. I'll link her channel down below if you want to check her out. So yeah, some of those are grouped together by publishers, so just how the cover of the books look. And then I try to color coordinate it a bit. So I start off with two books by Khaled Hosseini. One is A Thousand Splendid Suns and the other one is Sea Prey, a little letter he wrote with illustrations. Very beautiful. A Thousand Splendid Suns is one of my favorite books. I got it at a secondhand store. 100 Years of Solitude. Very confusing but interesting. Madame Bovary, this one's in English. The original one is in French obviously, but yeah, I read that a while ago. Very cool. I've got two books by Agatha Christie. I also have Murder on the Orient Express by Eyeliner to My Mom. Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. Very interesting book, a bit disturbing, but yeah. And 1984 by George Orwell, obviously, cool book. What else can I tell you? Yeah, The Great Gatsby, also one of my favorites. I highly enjoyed it. The Perks of Being a Wallflower, very interesting. Didn't expect one, like the big twist, I guess. Then I got two books by, what is it, Penguin Vintage or something? Classic. Modern classics. Jack Kerouac, On the Road, and Truman Capote, Breakfast at Tiffany's. I still need to read both of those. Oh, that's one I read in high school. I also read To Kill a Mockingbird in high school, but I really loved that one. A Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, very cool. The Leopard, I still haven't read that one. That was in my summer TBR/book haul. The Importance of Being Earnest. Most of the books I had to read in high school were in this format, so there are some words that are translated into German for us, so that's like a student edition. In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. Then I got that's one I had to read in high school as well. It's okay. What else do we have? Oh, that was a recent one. Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The Diary of Anne Frank. Oh my god, I can't read that one without crying. But I think it's a must read. Harry Potter. These are the first books. Both of them are the first books, and this one. So the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. But this one's the Ravenclaw edition. If you didn't know, I'm in the Ravenclaw house. I will probably sell the other one. Then we got God Save the Watchman. It's sort of the sequel to Kill a Mockingbird, but it was written before. So Harper Lee actually wrote this one, and the publisher told her, you mentioned Scout as a girl, and I think that was a bit more interesting. Write a book about that, and she wrote To Kill a Mockingbird. So yeah, and I don't want to say that I was disappointed. It's a bit more realistic. I think you can tell that To Kill a Mockingbird was from the point of view of a child. So, and this one's in the point of view of a young woman who then sees how the world actually is. And it's a bit disappointing, but it's reality. So yeah. Carrie by Stephen King, didn't like that. Tender is the Night by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Didn't like that as much. Like The Great Gatsby is definitely his best book. The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Great. Nothing else to add. I had to read that one in high school. Romeo and Juliet, but this one's a bilingual edition, so one side is German, the other side is English, and I actually had to read that for my German class. The Godfather by Mario Puzo, amazing. The Divine Comedy by Dante, haven't read that one, sorry. We got The Pain of My Existence, Moby Dick. I read it, but honestly, I don't know what to say. That one's by the same publisher. What is that? Barnes & Noble's Classics. Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. Really enjoyed that one. Hate the main character. But yeah, like I really enjoyed that. Also Tolstoy and I share the same birthday. Not the same year obviously, but you know. Then I have a bigger collection of Penguin classics. Starting like from Jane Austen, I got a lot of Charles Dickens, yeah, pretty much. Also Mark Twain, yeah, but I think a lot of them are by Charles Dickens because his books are really good. Also, I got Jane Eyre. I got some Bronte as well. Cool stuff. Then we got this edition. What is it? HarperCollins or something? Collins Classics. Emma, one of my favorite books. Yeah, I haven't read those. Yet. A Midsummer's Dream by Shakespeare, which also leads me to this huge book, which is The Complete Works of William Shakespeare. I actually got that one at Stratford-upon-Avon. I think that's how the place is called, Shakespeare's birthplace. Okay, so here are some, I want to say, random books. 36 Hours USA in Canada. Yeah, they give you some ideas what you can do in different cities. Then we have this really random book about like this woman trying to make it in Paris. Like, yeah, and this one's actually really cool. On This Day in History. Okay, so I'm filming this on the 18th of December, and so these are the events that happened on this day in different years, like throughout history. Here is my guilty pleasure, Dan Brown books. Yeah, I mean, they're interesting. Like some of the plot twists I already saw coming, especially in the last book, Origin. Then we have two books by Nikki French, Blue Monday and Tuesday's Gone. I think there's a whole series for each day of the week, and they're about a psychologist, and they are quite interesting. Then we have some other books. I don't know how to describe them. We've got Journalism After Snowden, The Future of the Free Press in the Surveillance State. This is more of a textbook. If you're into surveillance journalism, might be of interest to you, especially if you are a journalist. They also give some tips about that didn't really concern me, but yeah. Then something else about journalism, All the President's Men, the greatest reporting story of all time, which is true, very interesting. I mean, the beginning was a bit dull, but, you know, it's a true story. You know what I mean? So it's okay, but it took me some time to really get into it. But it's interesting how they found out what the president was doing and, you know, the entire Watergate scandal. And it's also interesting how the president denied everything and called the press a liar, said that the press was lying, you know, to use today's terms, that they were fake news. So history repeats itself a bit. So yeah, that was interesting to read. I also got this book. This is also journalism related, In the Skin of a Jihadist. I hope this video is not going to get flagged for using that word. But yeah, so this is also not her real name. It's a French journalist who kind of got in touch with a man there, and he tried to convince her to come to Syria. So it's also investigative journalism, very interesting. Then we got some, like those two are more like crime related. This one's The Truth about why people do bad things by Tom Gash. Very interesting. He talks about the different myths we have surrounding crime and he tries to debunk them, so that's cool. Then we got The Psychopath Whisperer by Kent Keel. He researched the brains of prison inmates, talked to the prisoners that he thought were psychopaths. You can kind of measure it up. He used that checklist. I don't know really what the name is, psychopath something. I don't know if it's a read for everyone because he mentioned some gruesome, disgusting things that some of those inmates did. So I don't know if it's for everyone. Then we got this little book called Can We Solve the Migration Crisis by Jacqueline Baraba. Also very interesting especially for people who don't really know much about migration. Then we got the biography of Leonardo da Vinci, which I haven't read yet. Sorry. Then we got this one book called Arctic Chill by Arnaldur Indridason. I got that one in Iceland in a bookshop, a gift/bookshop. It was okay, but I feel like they didn't really do a good job with the translation, just because some of the sentences, and I don't know, like it just seemed a bit off. I don't know. But yeah. The next one is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins, which was obviously a bestseller. The global bestseller. And I read that one before I watched the movie. Again, obviously the book is better than the movie. But I also mean it because in the movie I thought the plot twist was a bit obvious, whereas in the book I didn't really see it coming. So yeah. Then we got A Time to Kill by John Grisham, which is I feel like his books are very known in the legal drama book community. I don't know. So he used to be a lawyer, if I'm not mistaken, and writes books about courtroom dramas and things like that. Then we got A Tale for the Time Being by Ruth Ozeki. I had to read that one in high school. I thought it was very interesting, very nicely written. So these two books feature photographs of Harris in this one and Audrey Hepburn. Then I got this book, Isms, Understanding Art. So they just feature different, surrealism, everything that ends with ism basically, and explain it. The Art of Fiction by David Lodge. Yeah, this is more a book for someone that's interested in writing books, novels, and how some of the classics mastered, the introduction, character descriptions, everything like that. Then I got this fun book. It's called Fluent Forever by Gabriel Weiner. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. So he gives a lot of tips about how to learn a language in a productive, efficient way and, reach fluency, I guess. Then got two sociology related books. This one's in German, Klassiker der Soziologie, and this one's in English, Sociology, a Graphic Guide. Try to explain sociology with illustrations. Symbolic interactionism. Yeah, so that's that. If you're studying something with sociology, that's probably for you. This one's a bit of a random book. It's not mine, it's my mother's. Nadrini Čuprija by Ivo Andrić. I still need to read that one, so I kept it here. Okay, so now we reach the German books. This one's a book about, minimal fashion, and by this German ethical, sustainable brand called Jan and June, I think. Yeah, Jan and June. Or Jan and June. I don't know. But yeah, very interesting tips. All of these books here are by Ferdinand von Schirach. And he used to be a lawyer in Germany. I think he still lives in Germany. And he wrote some very interesting, thought-provoking novels. So this one, Terror, this play is about a plane that got hijacked and that planned to crash into a soccer stadium full of people. And the question is if the defendant, so this plays in a courtroom, a military pilot, I guess. If he was acting rightly in shooting down the plane, and thus killing all the passengers on the plane to save the soccer stadium full of people. So yeah, this is, I guess, more moral philosophy, but in a like courtroom setting. All his books are kind of like that. This one, the Falcolini, this was also recently in the cinemas here. I haven't seen the movie, but yeah, very interesting book. Then we got some other German books. Most of them I had to read in high school. Yeah, like this one, that one, it just escalated quickly. Like the main character just really lost it. It was very weird to read. This one's by a Swiss author, Der Besuch der alten Dame, by Friedrich Dürrenmatt. So it's a play, a funny story. In middle school we had to do that play, and I was one of the main characters. So yeah, that was very funny. But yeah, I like that one. Oh my god, this one, Die Taube, by Patrick Süskind, the same author who wrote Perfume. We had to read that in high school, and this was one of the most bizarre books I've ever read. It's about a man who gets an existential crisis because he saw a pigeon in front of his apartment. The English title, I think, is also The Pigeon. So ja, very bizarre. And speaking of Patrick Süskind, Das Parfüm, die Geschichte eines Mörders, Perfume in English. You probably know it. There's this whole movie out there, like, very interesting book / movie, a bit, concerning, but, Then I got this book by Bernhard Schlink, Liebesfluchten. I haven't read that one. I also got that one in a secondhand shop. This one by the same author, Bernhard Schlink. We had to read that one in high school, The Vorleser, and honestly, this one's a really good book. It's also been made into a movie with Kate Winslet, I think, about the aftermath of World War II. So, but also a relationship between a, grown woman and a teenager. I think the English title is The Reader. Then this one's by a Swiss author. It's okay. I haven't read that one yet. Got it from a book exchange site. This one, I really want to read that next. Wow, Hundestories zum Staunen, or I guess you would say wow. Wow. And this one's just, they collected some stories about dogs from the point of view of dogs, like different things like that. So yeah, I want to read that. Then I got 2 books by this publisher, Surkamp Basisbibliothek. That publisher is very good if you want to understand the books. They give you just a lot of background information and things like that. So here I got Friedrich Schiller, Kabbalah und Liebe. I haven't read that one. Got it quite recently from a book exchange site. And I got Franz Kafka, Das Urteil und andere Erzählungen. I read that one. I think Kafka is a bit too intellectual for me. I don't know. You just really need to know everything about him, like his life, what he read, like who influenced him, things like that. Then we get to the French books. The first one is the first Harry Potter book, so Harry Potter, à l'école des sorciers. And next, I think that one I read in high school, La vie comme elle vient. It's an okay book. This one I also read in high school, but I didn't really understand it, La vie de Bonsoir. Now I do. I had an oral exam on this book. One of my final French exams, the oral exam, the written exam was for that one. So, and yeah, that was bad. But yeah, I think I understand it now. So then we got Les Liaisons Dangereuses. I really enjoyed that one. A bit controversial, I assume, when it came out in France. It's comprised of letters, and a lot of people thought that, those letters were real, that actual people wrote them, and the author also makes them believe that. So, and they were really controversial letters, and just I understand that society freaked out a bit. Then we got a play, L'Avare, funny, like that one. Les Justes, also like that one. Very short, but very interesting and yeah, makes you think. I haven't read that one yet, by the son of Alexandre Dumas. Dumas' fils, Les Dames aux Camélias. Yeah, I haven't read that one, can't say anything. Haven't read that one, and haven't read that one yet. And I just put this book at the end of the shelf so everything else wouldn't fall down. And this one's just Emily Post's Etiquette, so it's a bon ton. So those were all the books I have on these two shelves. Let's go to the mini shelf. So here's the smaller shelf. I call it the mini shelf, and I just put like two little pink containers here. Yeah, I think it looks cute that way. And as you can tell, all of these books are by the same publisher, Macmillan Collectors Library. Yeah, starting off with this one, The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins. Haven't read that one yet. The Awakening, I also haven't read that one. I only recently bought these two books, but I will read them. I will. The next one is Emma by Jane Austen, like the nicer edition, I guess, because I already have another one. But yeah, like I said, one of my favorite books. Then we got Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens, and then we got Hamlet by William Shakespeare. Yeah, so that's the small bookshelf. Alright, I hope you found that interesting. I'm sorry if that video is way too long. Yeah, so sorry. Maybe you got some book recommendations out of it. I'm not a booktuber, but I will film a what I read in 2019 video soon and upload that one. So I also have a book playlist. I will link down below if you're interested. And yeah, I usually make videos about traveling and university, some about like fashion, sustainable, ethical fashion, things like that. So if that sounds interesting to you, please make sure to subscribe. It would really make my day. Alright, see you in my next video. Bye!